everybody. Welcome back to Green Rapids.
Welcome back. Today, Nancy and I are going to be taking a little bit different of an approach. Normally, we have something for everybody to think about, something to teach, and we're kind of tired. And it's because it's been a long summer, I think, for everybody. So we really just want to talk about like climate change over the summer and how it's had an impact like on our work, how our work maybe has impacted, just day-to-day life, energy, things like that. So
Yeah, it's also raining today, and y'all know how rainy days could be. Like, you're just kind of like chilling. You're maybe a little bit more introspective. You're maybe thinking a little bit more about like, dang, fall is kind of here in what, 12 days?
Kinda 12 days.
And so we were feeling
today.
just, reflective about all the work that we've done this summer. We were feeling obviously sad that summer is over, but then also feeling very ready to welcome in this like season of like, not just festivities, but also like rest and hibernation and all that good shizzle.
I think I really love the feeling of seasons changing, and sometimes we're really apprehensive to like following that natural wave. But like the earth has a rhythm, and I really do believe there's a reason why summers can feel so intense and why we dwindle down even if we're not ready. Like the actual energy does kind of want to slow us down. So with that, I mean, just to start out, like there was fires, like
There
literally
was fires,
the first bit of our summer was just kind of saturated in what Canada was dealing with and their fires. And then we really have kind of ended our summer on that same note with what's happening in Lahaina and Maui. And I think, again, with the heat and the energy of the summer, I'm kind of ready for those transitions. They were kind of heavy things to process. The heavy bit being air quality in Michigan was kind of definitely, let me back up. It wasn't kind of a downer. It was a huge downer and changed our abilities to see the sunshine, to feel the heat, to go outside and feel good about doing that. But in places that it wasn't dry and supposed to be, California dealing with some of the tropical storms that they weren't used to dealing with. Well, and they just had like a week of rain straight, I think, over the summer too. Maybe it was this spring. And then the last one I'm going to throw in there that kind of really like drew on my energy and has brought me to a point of like, maybe I need to rest a little bit because this is heavy, was the tornado that we faced about a week or two ago. Or it was probably 2 weeks ago. Yeah. That wasn't maybe as destructive in my personal community as it could have been. But you do feel like the confusion of everybody around and like the weight of that. And so I'm, again, going to just highlight like my very ready energy for the shift and the changes that we're looking forward to, because it's been a really busy summer. There's been a lot of heat and conversations flowing around that. And I think it's impacting me a lot emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm an empath. I'm taking in all of this. So
it's heavy stuff.
It's heavy stuff, and I don't want to forget about it, but I would like to move into a new season of like addressing all of these things. So today I am feeling like the energy of a rainy day, right? Like, okay with the chillin', okay with taking a step back, okay with what a transition might be from that point.
Yeah.
So not to like totally make it that, but this summer was noticeably different in my life personally, on top of being more busy than I've ever been.
Yeah, for sure. Same here.
Yeah. So if you want to, I don't know, give your bit. I don't know how any of that impacted you, or if it maybe allowed for you to look outside of certain things that you normally would have, or...
Yeah. So, I mean, the summer was obviously very busy for both of us. Not only did we have, just all of these climate weather events happening, like not just here in Michigan, but also just like, like across the country, like Erica mentioned, like the hurricane in California, the fires in Maui, and just like all this other stuff that's going on. And then that's just the stuff that makes the news, right?
Right.
That's not to say that, other states are probably experiencing like weather patterns that are different than what they normally get, but they're just not drastic or dramatic enough to make it to the news, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we just really get, like, the headliners.
Such a good point.
So, but yeah, other than that, though, like, you know, obviously, other than, like, just living through that as, like, human beings, we've also been going to a bunch of conferences. So we've been learning all the things.
All of the things to learn.
All the things.
My brain is like, wom, wom, wom.
Yeah, and like a lot of the panels that we went to would be like really niche, you know, like how to, you know, like MDOT was designing this highway, and they're like, how do we make this like a just and fair use of like the land, and like how do we get back to the community that was damaged in the redlining that happened when that highway was first made. So, and this is like in Detroit, but a lot of conferences relating to that. We've gone to some that have been hosted by Eagle, which is an environment and Great Lakes. I forgot what the last E stands for.
Great Lakes and Energy.
Okay, there we go. And energy. Another one was hosted by the Michigan Climate Action Network and a handful of other ones. Just some of them were related to climate. So not only were we living through, you know, all these different weather events and things in our personal lives, like I said, but we're also hearing all of the nitty gritty from not just the panelists who oftentimes are experts, you know, they're experts in their fields and they really can provide like a better insight to a lot of what's actually going on. But then also from like other residents who are talking about how their communities have been impacted. And we all know that, you know, some areas get hit differently than others, you know, especially frontline communities. So just hearing, you know, all those stories, all of the science behind it, it can be like a big, not just emotional load, but also like a mental load too.
Yes. And I love that you put that bit in too, because I think we often like separate ourselves from somebody else's traumas or experiences and how they can impact us. Like when you hear about somebody's story, you're taking on a bit and piece of their experience. And so some of us don't apply it in that way. Some of us would like to not apply it so much in that way. But we do. We feel this load and we feel this heaviness. We feel the need to do everything all like right now and get it done. And so I'm very much looking forward to shifting like the way I'm taking in information. I don't know that I'll stop hearing about the disasters across the world or that I'll stop having conversations with people who are facing these issues, you know, because winter brings its own set of potentials.
Yeah,
but
you're
a
right.
solid reminder that resting is just as important as these heightened moments in life.
Yeah.
So maybe we can talk about some of the events that we have going on. Not just us, but Michigan in general, West Michigan, MEMJ, Michigan Energy, Michigan Jobs, Wednesday, September 26th. It's called the MI Clean Energy Future. It is a day of action, and it takes place in Lansing at the state capitol. So that day there will be a climate rally, a festival, lots of guest speakers, music, food, and then you also get to engage with your state legislators.
There is one more event we're gonna plug, and then we're gonna move on to like another little announcement. And there's an environmental book club being hosted by WIMIAC from 6:30 to 7:30 on October 4th, and then that one's via Zoom. So if you're like, hey, like I am still learning about climate and like climate change and climate justice and all those different things, and you're just like feeling like maybe you need to read up a little bit more before you really start to get involved, this would be a really great group to join. So again, that's October 4th, Environmental Book Club, 6:30 to 7:30 on Zoom. And you can find more information on how to sign up for this at wimiac.org under their events page.
Yeah, I love the idea of reaching people in a different way. Like, if you love reading and you want to get more involved or you want to be a part of a book club, like, not all book clubs are going to be exactly what you want to read about, but it's a chance for you to, like, expand. Honestly,
also, it's going to be winter. What else are we going to be doing?
Yeah, well, I could use an accountability group that's saying, like, we're going to read until this page every week. And I'd be
like, okay.
Night before, trying to cram it in.
Yeah.
But with that said, I think, like, something that we keep bringing up is the transition and changes. And Nancy and I are going to be transitioning just for a slight bit. So we will be taking a break along with the season. We'll take a Green Rapids podcast breaks for a season.
GRP is hibernating.
Yeah, so we go into hibernation.
We are not winter birds.
You will find me in my apartment or at events that feed me.
Yeah.
But we are going to take a small break. So we are going to run our episodes through the end of October. Our last episode will come out on the 25th of October.
Spooky.
And then we will start beginning again in March, kind of like how we did with Green Rapids podcast launch.
Earlier this year.
Yeah.
Woo.
Which is wild to think that we've been at this job for a full year now, that we've been doing this podcast for almost 9 months. Like this is... It really tells how quickly things can change and move. But I think we want to reflect on that.
Yeah. Also, it's our first time having a podcast. It's our first time.
Newsflash.
In case you didn't notice from that one episode. But, and then also, it's our first year as, climate justice organizers. We're doing this for our job now. So, but there's a lot for us to process. And we also want to take a break because we're like, all right, let's close off season 2. Season 1, just ended strong. And I want to kind of recap and we didn't want to, we're not just resting too. We're also going to be planning.
Yeah.
Plotting, scheming, what season 2 is going to look like for our Green Rapids podcast. And for that, we would like any and all feedback is welcome.
Yeah. And when we take a step back, I think
don't be mean.
Well, yeah, nice feedback is welcomed. It's
constructive criticism is okay, but
solid disclaimer, send it all to Nancy. No, but I really do think when you take a step back, I've been talking to somebody about being the fly on the wall, right? When you are the fly on the wall, you're observing from a different angle. We're not watching ourselves do this. We are just doing it. And I don't know that at the end of our weeks, we have time to process all of what we've done. It's just...
every week is a blur.
Well, we went from a conference to an event to just a full week of work. And I love being able to just go and do that and be engaged and completely into it. But there is a necessary rest period in between all of these things. And when you take a step back from it, you are able to just kind of conceptualize your motions in a different way.
If you guys want to make a really fun drinking game out of this episode, take a shot for every time we say rest.
No, seriously. And then send a shot for every time I say rest. Send one directly to me, my Cash App. I'm just kidding. But with that being said, Nancy and I don't want to stop engaging, right? So it's a time for us to not have to engage by speaking about it, but we want to hear what other people have to say. Maybe what other people can say after moments of their rest or after moments of their busy season. So Nancy and I would like to open up coffee hour sessions through that time. So really starting on the 25th, the last day of our episode
what if we have
this.
a little party?
We could. Yeah.
Details TBD.
Yeah, stop. But no, what we'll do is on the last day that we, or our last post for our episode for this season, we're also going to do a coffee meetup that evening. And we really want to open up a coffee hours session.
Yeah. So we don't just want to hear your feedback about the podcast, but we would also just want to hear your thoughts, your feelings. Climate change is just such a big, vague, multi-faced thing. So we just want to hear how it's affecting you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? What are you learning about it? What do you wish was different? What do you wish you could do? What do you want? What do you wish we would do?
Yeah. What don't you understand?
Yeah. What don't you understand that we could maybe deep dive into for you? What do you want to research but don't have the time?
Yeah.
All those things.
And even just, I think, a place to talk about how confusing it is. Nancy and I don't have all of the answers.
Yeah. Or you just want to complain about consumer energy.
Yeah. Please come complain. with us about consumers energy.
They suck.
No, well, and it's just nice to know sometimes that there is a community. So hopefully we're also looking for places for you to get connected to people outside of us. Like hopefully there's somebody that says something, or they live in a neighborhood that you live in, or your parent or something like that. What we're looking to do is just build collective energy in the climate scene, but with rest in mind.
I guess I'm feeling just like, I mean, I'm not, as you know, I am a California transplant. So for me, just the idea of being as active as I was this summer in the winter is just not appealing at all. And there's plenty of work to be done that's requires more, just being a little bit more sedentary.
Totally.
Like I was saying before, like not just the planning and everything for our season 2 of this podcast, but also just like in our other work that we do. We're going to be looking at what our work plan is going to be for 2024. We're going to be setting goals. We're going to be doing like a year in review for our team. It's just like a really good time to just like reflect, plan, do all those things.
My call to action would be to give yourself grace, to pat yourself on the back for making it through a very intense and busy summer, and to lean into the contrast of life.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you have a call to action?
My call to action is you can do nothing after you comment on our latest Instagram post and tell us your favorite coffee shops. You want to know where you want to hang out this winter, where we can just, we don't need anywhere like huge, or somewhere where like a handful of people can sit and chat and catch up.
Criteria is we want to do evening meetups. So just get us a really cool vibey shop that we can meet at between 4 and 5:30.
Yeah.
So we are looking at Wednesday evenings, the last
Wednesday of the month.
Wednesday of the month,
except
between
December.
4 and 5:30. The first 2 meetups. The first meetup we will do at Lantern. It's downtown, centralized. Hopefully most people can make it there easily. But like Nancy said, comment on our post. Comment on our post about coffee meetups and tell us where you want to go. Because we will drink coffee anywhere.
Yeah. Or if you're like, hey, did you know coffee is one of the leading causes of deforestation or something like that? And you have an alternate place for us to meet, like maybe like locally brewed beer, which I dislike, but I will tolerate for you anyway. You can also comment some of the areas like that too. Basically, just somewhere we can like chill and chat in the evening. Yeah,
a place accessible for most people.
But also somewhere cozy, it's winter.
Nancy has a whole list, so why don't you just message Nancy personally, ask her what she wants. No, I'm kidding. No, but really, we love your input. We love your feedback, and we don't want to just set up a coffee date at a place where no one wants to go. So let us know what you think. We hope to see you there.
Let us know if you want a GRP hibernation party.
Nancy wants a fucking party. But we invite everybody to join in on any bit that works for them and anything that would bring them a little bit more peace in this very chaotic season in the world. So yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Keeping it short today.
Yeah.
Because we're tired and it's raining.
It's just
all right. Peace.
Bye.